On today's show,
if I was to walk up the stairs, I try and bite it 3 times.
An obsessive disorder
She'll let both hands off the wheel to move switches.
is out of control.
She loses lots of hours of her life just doing a ritual thing.
Wrecking a life and stealing a young woman's future.
I cannot stop myself from doing it.
Nick and Eva Speakman have been successfully treating people with phobias and anxiety disorders for 17 years.
But what we had to do with Tom is find out what started this. And because it was really painful, he locked it away.
They've travelled the world, developing their own form of therapy to help improve the lives of countless people.
There's nothing you can't do. It's quite extraordinary.
Regulars on the This Morning sofa, the Speakmans have helped a host of celebrities overcome their fears.
You've got 2 issues going on here.
Unbelievable.
And now, they're allowing the cameras into their therapy sessions for the first time. Can they succeed where doctors and other therapists have failed?
If you weren't born with the condition, then that means that you've had an experience in your life that has created it.
You can be better. No doubt about it. You can be better.
My name's Ashley, I'm 25 years old and I suffer with OCD. Touch the sides. This is a general walk, as if I was just to walk along my hallway. And simple things, if I don't touch that in the right place, I've got to start my whole routine again. I need to touch it just there. Has to be there. If I touch it there, it's not, I've got to do the whole thing again. I will just see objects and I'll be kind of like, I just need to bite it. For instance, the door handle, and I just bite it. It's absolutely insane. I've bit the plug down there, as you can see from the lipstick. It's just getting ridiculous and it's gradually getting worse, and I just wonder what I'm going to do next. I wonder what I'm going to bite next. I already bite my hands, my phone, I bite batteries. When I turn my straighteners off, I bite them. I would pick the straighteners up, bite them. I do little role plays in my head just to kind of make myself believe that they are turned off. I walk, I step up to my straighteners, I even do little movements. I pick them up, do this 3 times, bite them. And then I'll say they're not working because they're not turned on. And then that, in my head, makes me realise that they are actually turned off, as bizarre as that is. I'm kind of biting things that I shouldn't be biting, and biting dog balls is absolutely disgusting, but I cannot help it. I know it's disgusting, but I cannot stop myself from doing it. It's just getting out of control.
Keeping up with her daily rituals has completely taken over Ashley's life. Her mum Diane remembers when her daughter's behaviour started to change.
From the age of 8, she would check things, double-check things. Everything was in place for school. Her clothes were in the drawers, neat, tidy. She would make pictures and they had to be basically perfect.
I was kind of just touching a lot of things, and at that kind of age, at 8, I kind of just thought that I was inquisitive. I just wanted, you know, to feel new things. I'd walk past things and I'd want to touch them. At 11 years old, I began smelling things as well as touching things. And then I would kind of touch them, then smell them, then smell them, and then touch them again. It kind of got just worse.
I can't understand why she does this, because she's so intelligent.
I tend to touch and smell things. I believe if I don't do that, that something really bad's going to happen. Someone's going to die, someone's going to be really poorly, going to be in hospital, and it's all going to be down to me. This is where I do one of my worst OCD rituals, which I hate. I try and bite it 3 times. If I was to walk up the stairs, I bite it.
You know, walk up the stairs, she has to touch the banister all the way up the stairs with Alternate hands.
If there's somebody watching over me or trying to rush me, then it is 10 times worse. I have to start it all over again. Same, you can see where paint's come off, lipstick marks. I want to bite it. But if I feel like I haven't bit it properly, I'll start my whole routine again.
She loses lots of hours of her life just doing a ritual things.
Constantly I'm just biting and bite that corner and biting and biting. When I bite objects, I don't think about it beforehand. And it's kind of in my daily life now, like you would get up and go to the toilet when you wake up in the morning. It's just kind of my way of living now. I'm so used to it. So once I've made a cup of tea, I stir it, I put the spoon back. If I touch anything else, if I touch this, if I touch the top, I've got to start it again. Touch the top of these 3 times.
Someone else who's had to get used to living with OCD is Ashley's husband, Brian.
Again.
Being married to someone with OCD can be embarrassing at times, it can be frustrating at times, but you've just got to get through it.
Brian's really supportive with my OCD, and he kind of knows what I do in every little bit of the house now.
Shall we go and walk the dog?
Yeah, why not?
I'm talking about hours here to get out of the house, getting ready and then checking everything before we go out. She takes longer than most people.
And sometimes if we are in a rush, he'll stand over me or he'll say, come on, we need to go. And that makes it a lot worse. I end up being hours late because I've got to start everything from that day that I've done to do with my OCD again.
So scared of stopping her rituals for fear of something bad happening, Ashley's list of daily must-dos is increasing.
As bad as it is to admit, the worst thing I've probably wanted to bite is if I've took my dog for a walk. There you go.
Thanks.
Dog waste. Picking dog waste up and then wanting to bite the bag that it's in. I'm dying to bite that bag with dog waste in, just the top of the bag. If I was to touch it, I would need to bite it, so I'm avoiding it at all costs. And I'm right, I should go. I kind of need to do it, it's not an option. And because I know it's so bad, it makes me want to do it even more.
That's disgusting, isn't it?
It is disgusting. Absolutely revolting, but I cannot help it. I find relief after I've done it. I kind of feel like the rest of the day is going to be marvellous, nothing's going to go wrong until I come to the next hurdle where I need to do something, which isn't very long.
Being ruled by rituals isn't just ruining Ashley's life. She's becoming a danger to herself.
I would say the worst thing that she does is when she's driving, she'll let both hands off the wheel to move switches and things like that, and it's obviously dangerous.
When Brian's home, he doesn't let me drive. I'm constantly taking my hand off. If I touch any button on here, I've got to do it with both hands. So I'm constantly taking my hand off like this. Because it's so cold, it's obvious that it's uneven, so I'm constantly trying to make it the same with both hands. If I pull this down, I've got to touch that with both hands 9 times, so take my hand off the steering wheel, and then again, gear stick's just horrendous. Touching it.
Powerless to control her behaviour on her own, Ashley's lost all hope of a normal life.
Song or anything, everything's with 2 hands. And I just think, where is it going to stop? Am I ever going to be able to have a family? Locked. And then randomly I'll just check other people's cars. Am I ever be able to have a career that I want to do? Am I ever going to be able to just get up on a morning and get ready and go to work? Am I going to be able to just lock the door and go to bed on a night without it taking me 2.5 hours? I just think I'm chucking my life away.
Desperate to overcome her OCD and leave her rituals and routines in the past, Ashley's arrived at Speakman Hall with her husband, Brian.
Yeah. Hello.
We've got a lady coming to see us today called Ashley, and she's got a really severe obsessive compulsive disorder. In fact, it's that severe that, having read the notes on her, she's definitely a danger to herself.
Come on in. This is something completely new to us. We have never worked with somebody who has so many OCD behaviours?
I can't believe I'm finally here at Speakman Hall. It doesn't seem real.
I'm a bit worried and a bit sceptical that it may not work. I can't see anything that could possibly cure it.
Any improvement in my OCD would be amazing. I'm not expecting a full cure, just so I have some control in my life would be absolutely amazing.
Coming up, a marriage under strain.
It causes little rifts and things all the time, so it does cause arguments.
And a heartbreaking confession.
I feel like the most unnormal person and absolutely hate what OCD makes me do.
25-year-old Ashley has spent 10 long years living in the grip of an OCD.
I'm kind of biting things that I shouldn't be biting. Biting dog balls is absolutely disgusting, but I cannot help it.
Trapped by negative thoughts and ritual behaviour.
Someone's going to die, someone's going to be really poorly, going to be in hospital, and it's all going to be down to me.
Can Nick and Eva find a way to free her from this distressing disorder?
It's really lovely to meet you both. Thank you so much for coming to see us today. Ashley, what is it that we can do to help you?
Well, I suffer really bad with my OCD at the minute, so anything you could do to help control it a little bit would be amazing.
So tell us about your OCD.
It's not what many people would expect. It's not cleaning things, washing my hands, anything. It's more touching, smelling, biting, anything. Really, anything I touch, I have to kind of bite.
Anything?
There is certain rituals that I carry out no matter what in the house, day in, day out. Touching the banister so many times as I'm walking up, biting the banister top and bottom. I do that every time I go up the stairs. Every time I pass the door, I touch it 9 times. They stay the same, but at certain times, I'll pick things up and bite them, and it'll just be kind of like, I need to pick that up and bite it. So obviously that's not something I'm doing every day if it's a new object that I've kind of took a fancy for.
And if you don't touch it, then what could happen?
My fear is someone's going to die or someone's going to get hurt really bad.
Okay.
Or sometimes I kind of think more, not on the positive front, but if I do this, something good might happen. But more, it's if I don't do it, then something bad's going to happen.
And is that all based on bad things happening to others or you?
Others. Definitely
it's not about
others.
you then?
No.
How long have you been together, Brian?
9 years we've been together.
How do you know where you stand in this relationship? How do you know that you're doing something right or doing something wrong that might affect Ashley?
I think if I did something wrong, she would tell us straight away, say, oh, no, you need to do that, or she would get very stressed about something if I did something wrong, if you know what I mean.
And tell you, or would you just see her stressed?
I'd be able to tell. But if I couldn't, if I did something wrong and I didn't know I'd done it wrong, she would just tell me straight away.
So what would constitute doing something wrong?
Maybe just, one of the things is walking over drains, and she likes to walk over 2 drains, and but it's not 3 drains, so if I go to walk over some drains, she might drag me off them and say, no, I can't walk over them.
Why?
I don't know what it is. I just fear something bad's going to happen.
I'm still trying to process the fact that you've got to walk across these drains, but if there's oncoming traffic, you're not bothered.
No.
So has anyone nearly hit you in a car?
Luckily not, no. But if I can avoid it, if I can hang about a bit and wait till a car's gone, I'll wait.
Were you aware that it was this bad, Brian?
To an extent, yeah. Definitely, I've known it get a lot worse since we've been going out.
And how does that make you feel, knowing that somebody you obviously love, want to spend the rest of your life with, is putting their life in danger?
Oh, it's horrible. And one of the worst things that I know that she does is she'll take her hands off the steering wheel, both hands, to touch things in the car.
Wow.
And that is, it's a horrible feeling. I don't like being a passenger.
So that's when she's actually driving herself?
Yeah.
So tell us about the driving rituals.
The driving's really bad, to be honest. That's one of my worst things. I'll kind of just get the urge to take my hands off the steering wheel and touch the roof with both hands. It's kind of weird. As I said before, I like to touch things in odd numbers, but I also like to be even. So if I touch something with one hand, it's got to feel the same on the other. I'll get the urge to take my hands off the steering wheel and touch the roof with both hands. Or if I pull the sun visor down and I've touched it with one hand, I've got to touch it with both. So I take my hands off again and I touch both. If I turn the volume up, I've got to do that with both hands.
And all this time, Ashley, you're driving the
Yeah,
car?
driving, yeah. That's when I get the most comments when I'm driving. That's when people have noticed my OCD.
I mean, you've got to be swerving all over the place.
Oh, yeah. But that's what I worry if this was to get any worse. Because obviously I'm not just putting myself at risk when I have passengers there, and it's not like it's any different. I cannot help what I do. I cannot think there's passengers in the car, so I cannot do this. I've got to do it, whether there's people there or not.
When do you believe this started?
I'm not too sure, to be honest, because it's all I've ever... I mean, I could have had it from being a baby, I wouldn't know, but...
No, I can just put that straight immediately. You're not born with OCD.
Yeah. But that's how I feel. I've never known anything different, really. When I was first diagnosed with OCD and they kind of went through all my life events and things, they put it down to my mum and dad got divorced when I was 7, but that's kind of the age when you would start remembering your life as well, so kind of from there onwards.
Who's they? You said when they first diagnosed it.
Oh, I got diagnosed through my GP and I seen a psychiatrist.
Okay, and the psychiatrist went through basically a life history with you to try and find out where it was. And he said that he diagnosed it happened when your parents were getting divorced?
Yeah.
Okay.
These things can affect you without you realising.
Ashley's father and stepmother have only just learned about her OCD and were previously unable to help her.
Brian, how does her OCD affect you? And feel free to tell Ashley.
Well, it can be very frustrating, I'm sure you know, but say you're in a rush for something and you're doing all your rituals and whatever you might do, and it can be very frustrating and irritating.
And what are your worries?
I'm worried about how dangerous it can get. I know nothing bad has happened yet, but the danger is in the car, with you taking your hands off the wheel and things like that, is that, you know, you might have a crash, you could have passengers in with you, and that worries me the most, is that you'll do something dangerous.
It causes little rifts and things all the time, because obviously no one understands it like I understand it. They can understand it to a certain extent, but they don't know what's going on in my head. So it does cause arguments and a bit pressure and things. Like if we are in a rush and things, I hate being in a rush anyway, and I hate keeping people waiting, but people stood over me or watching what I'm doing makes it so much worse.
You know, as much as he loves you, he doesn't understand because he doesn't have the OCD, and that's not his fault.
Yeah.
You know,
And I can say, obviously, you love and you try to understand it, but there comes a point where, breaking point.
I know that your mum's here, and we're going to invite your mum to come and join us just to see what her thoughts are, if that's okay.
Yep, that's fine.
Ashley's had OCD for quite a long time now. If the speakmans can work the magic, I think it will be a miracle.
Hi, thanks for joining us, Diane. What's your take on Ashley's OCD?
I can't believe it's got us to this extent over... I know she had it when she was young, but lately, past 3 or 4 years, I think it's got a lot worse.
As her mum, can you tell Ashley how that made you feel?
I didn't know really how I felt because I couldn't understand why it had gone to that extent. But if I stopped her doing anything, she would have to start it all over again. She says, that's the worst thing you can do is stop us. I have to do it all again now.
So did that upset you?
A bit. It's a bit frustrated with her a bit because
sure.
It is hard to watch her.
So, Ashley, how do you justify to them that you still have to do it?
I cannot justify it, and I'll just say you don't understand, really. But the frustrating thing is for me as well, is as much as they're telling me what I'm doing's bad or dangerous or kind of, don't worry, nothing bad's going to happen, I know that in one side of my head, but the other side's overpowering it and telling me that I do need to do it.
So would that suggest then, Ashley, that if something bad happens in your family, that you blame yourself?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Every time.
Can you give us an example of something that's happened that's been quite bad in the family that you believe is because you didn't do enough of your rituals, for example?
One of the most recent ones was Mum, I should probably tell you, got diagnosed with cancer. And I'll kind of put that blame on me. In one side of my head I know it's not, but the other side's kind of, did you not do this? you didn't do it right, you didn't do it enough times. And then I think from then I picked up new rituals as well. I'm kind of like, well, maybe I should do this as well.
Just to be sure so it doesn't happen again.
And I think every time something bad happens, another ritual appears, and then I think that's maybe how it's progressing.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, Brian, has your mum had cancer?
No.
Okay. Do you do any rituals?
No.
Okay. So how come, I'm just struggling a little bit here, your mum's not had cancer and you don't do any rituals at all?
No.
You've been doing rituals since a child and your mum got cancer. How does that work?
Doesn't. All I would think is that I'm not doing enough, or I'm not.
But Brian didn't do any and his mum didn't get cancer.
I could be doing so many so his mum doesn't get cancer.
So what you're saying, you stopped Brian's mum getting cancer? Is that what you're saying?
Now you've said that to me, that would be a worry, and I would maybe start something else, another ritual.
Diane, I'm really sorry to ask you this question. Where was your cancer?
In the lung.
Okay. Why did you get lung cancer?
Probably because I smoked.
Right.
Okay.
Was it the cigarettes or was it Ashley's fault?
Cigarettes.
Are you sure of that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we asked you to write some letters to each other because today's all about honesty. So can we start with your letter, please, Diane?
Ashley, I feel part guilty for moving away. And also it did not help when I got cancer. But whatever it takes, we'll get you right. Love you always.
How does that make you feel, Ashley, to know that your rituals that you believe are saving the world are actually breaking your mum's heart?
Hurts. This is why I need the help, because it's not just affecting me, it's affecting absolutely everybody around.
Brian, could you please read your letter?
Ashley, I hope treatment from the Speakmans can change your life for the better. I hope it makes your life easier and makes you happier. I know having OCD makes it frustrating and stressful for you, and I hope this can give you a better future. It would mean a lot to me if your OCD was under control, but no matter what, I'll always be here for you. Lots of love, Brian.
Ashley, could you read your letter, please?
To Mum and Bri, without the support you both give me, I honestly don't know where I would be. I feel like the most unnormal person and absolutely hate what OCD makes me do. I'm so lucky to have you both in my life. Mum, despite how ill you have been, you have always put your family first and been there for me 110% regardless. Me and everyone else around you are so proud of you. You are the bravest person I know and hope I can be even a fraction of how brave you are when overcoming my OCD. I love you both to the moon and back.
All this, it's got to stop. We'd like you to leave Ashley with us. Leave her in our capable hands and we'll do our very best to help her get over this.
Good luck. Right.
We'll come and say goodbye to them, Doctor. This is a family that doesn't communicate, and each person within the mediation had individual guilt.
I've never seen my mum so emotional, and I had no idea the guilt that she carried to do with my OCD and the reasons for it starting.
I think mine and Ashley's relationship should be more open, more talking to each other more, letting each other know how we feel more.
It was very apparent that it's the first time that Ashley and her mum have spoken openly, and it was very visible to see the emotion that had been kept within, and the realisation of each other's suffering was very, very apparent.
After the break, can the Speakmans find a way?
Okay, just tell me about the voice. It's a woman's voice.
Yeah.
Whose voice do you think it is?
To free Ashley from her OCD.
What's this signify?
There was rituals I did when I made a cup of tea with the spoon. I would tap it so many times and then I would bite it so many times as I was carrying it through.
Today, an uncontrollable urge.
Bite them. I believe if I don't do that something really bad's going to happen.
Is taking over a woman's life.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
It is disgusting. Absolutely revolting, but I cannot help it.
25-year-old Ashley has lived with OCD since she was 8 years old.
She would make pictures and it had to be basically perfect. You do this. I know you can.
Just going to change all out for the bit now.
Unable to control her behaviour and consumed by anxiety, she's hoping the Speakmans can give her back her freedom.
Right, Ashley, it's your time now. Come on. Well, Ashley, let me ask you, when we did the mediation with your family, you told us of some of the things that you do. What struck me about that is that you have all these rituals, but you're not entirely regimental with them. What I mean by that is that if you miss some of these rituals occasionally, it doesn't matter. You see, that's a big flaw. How do you justify that to yourself? Because I just want to understand that.
Sometimes it's almost like someone's telling me what to do when I'm doing it. It's kind of like I get someone saying you need to touch this or you need to bite that.
Okay, just tell me about the voice. It's a woman's voice.
Yeah.
Whose voice do you think it is?
I have no idea. Maybe my mum. Someone who, I don't know, who could have control over me, kind of thing.
You just said, maybe my mum. And your eyes just said, it is my mum. So knowing that your mum is telling you to do all these things, if we brought your mum back and asked your mum the question, let's assume she's there. Mum, do you still want Ashley to do these things? Or will you give her permission to stop doing them?
Yeah, she would she'd gladly let me not do them, yeah.
Knowing that she's instructing you to do them and you hearing her voice telling you to stop, is that not good enough?
No, I don't know why. It's the fear of not doing it. I think that I've built up as well, that bad things will happen and...
I get it. Nobody wants bad things to happen. I get that.
Yeah.
That's been going on since the world began. Nobody wants bad things to happen. I can, in all confidence, sit here and tell you that nothing you did or didn't do caused your mum to get cancer.
Yeah.
Because instead of giving your mum an operation or chemotherapy or radiotherapy, whatever it was she needed, all the hospital would have said is, can you get Ashley in and get her to do her rituals to make your mum better? But that's not what they said. They didn't make your mum better by calling you in.
What did they do?
She had surgery and chemotherapy.
Okay, and that made her better. So why didn't they bring you in by your bedside and get you to do certain rituals to make her better?
Very true. I hadn't really thought of it like that.
So when this all started and your parents are maybe arguing and you want it to stop, you see, I know from our experience that you could be sat there and think, I want this arguing to stop, I just want it to be right, I want it just to be a happy family. So perhaps if I tap the floor 3 times, it might stop. When was the first time you touched something or tapped something?
It was about 8, yeah, when Nat was touching the banister. It wasn't for one specific thing, it was kind of just to make everything better, kind of the whole situation.
That's exactly right. But as an 8-year-old child, there's no one wants the parents to split up. And you'll do anything, but you're 8.
Mm-hmm.
You're 8, what can you do?
Yeah.
You see, and in that moment, you tap the banister, hoping.
Desperate.
Desperate, it's making a wish. The very first time that you tapped because you wanted to make it all right. You didn't want your parents to break up. No one wants that.
No.
Did you?
No.
Are they still together?
No.
See, that's how it starts. It's never worked. And let me just put your mind at rest a little bit, because I've got some things to show you. Well, this is a temple. And it's a temple from a civilization called the Mayans. on the 21st of December 2012, the world was supposed to end. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Didn't end, did it?
Nope.
The Mayans got that wrong. They weren't sure if the sun would come up every day. So to make sure it did, do you know what they did? They sacrificed someone every night. That's some ritual, isn't it?
Yeah.
And guess what?
Sun came up every morning. Was it anything to do with sacrificing someone the night before?
No.
And throughout history, people have tried all sorts of rituals to make things happen. And I've studied these for years. And I can conclusively tell you, I've not seen anything yet, any ritual anywhere, that's caused something to happen or stopped something happening. I'm not saying anything good about this situation. Nothing. And it started off with a little girl who didn't want her parents to split up. And they split up anyway. And the thing is, and the reason why it's a battle for you, is because you're a 25-year-old woman here, and you've got a 5, 6, 7-year-old little girl who decided to start some rituals to keep her mum and dad together. And you've got this battle. And all you've got to do is grow up and let this go and become a woman. So how does that make you feel?
Stupid.
There you go. See, the thing is, if you can look at it and you realise how stupid it is, that's when it's gone.
That's when you become a grown-up.
Do you know what? That was the word I wanted then. If you would have said anything else than that, I had another opportunity for you. You've not met her yet, but this is our pet goat, Lauren. I thought, well, instead of doing all these hundreds of rituals that don't work, how about you do one ritual and you sacrifice our goat?
No. No.
And why wouldn't you do that?
Stupid. It's wrong.
Go on, carry on again.
There's no need for it. No.
Okay.
I feel so silly. Just
Good.
So does that mean you've let it go?
yeah.
We've got a little bag of stuff here.
These are all the magic instruments.
These are the magic instruments that
Yeah.
you utilised, that we asked Brian to bring along.
So, I've
got a bag of stuff here.
Bag of stuff here.
Your magic tools.
The doing things to these tools, biting this and so on, stops things happening. How do you feel about biting it now?
Why would I bite? No need to. You can see where I've
Yeah?
been biting.
Okay, well, I've got some more stuff here. Do you remember when you fed your dog? And you used to bite around the edge, did you?
Yep.
Okay. Do you fancy biting it?
No. I don't need to.
Okay, I'm going to pass you these. So, these are the ones, aren't they?
Yep. It just seems bizarre. Like, why would I think that was going to help anything?
You ever look closely on these? I can see some burnt skin on them.
What's this signify?
There was rituals I did when I made a cup of tea. With the spoon, I would tap it so many times, and then I would bite it so many times as I was carrying it through.
Did you notice that all the time you told us about the cup?
Everything.
The
Everything
whole
you've said.
thing, everything you said was in the past tense. Did you notice,
Did you notice that?
No. Oh, this is absolutely bizarre.
What else we got? Oh, it's a proper bag of tricks, isn't it?
What on earth was that?
Oh, blimey.
Come on, what were you doing with that?
That was in our bathroom window, and every time I would go at the toilet, I would hit my knees 3 times against the toilet seat, and then the next thing I would do is pick that out the window, bite one of the corners. I don't know which corner it is. This is new because we've just had our bathroom done, and that's only been, so this is a new ritual I'd picked up.
Okay.
So once I'd got that, and it was there in front of us when I was doing my knees on the toilet, then I'd
might as well
kind
do
of
that as well.
Yeah,
bite
but
that as well.
You know what, why not?
Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Ashley. Has it gone?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I feel Oh, so stupid. Honest, I cannot explain how I feel right now.
You've let it go. Without question, I can see that. Let me ask you again, what was the worst thing that you used to do with your OCD?
Driving. Take my hands off the steering wheel, touching the roof in the car, touching everything in the car with both hands, basically.
And just tell me when you're looking back, because obviously, to describe that to me, you saw it in your mind.
Yeah.
Tell me how that memory looks different.
It just all seems really bizarre why I would have done it. It just seems like a cartoon or something.
Okay,
just
good. That's what I expected.
Seems
Yeah, because it's not you anymore,
crazy.
is it?
No, definitely
Do you feel
not.
it?
Yeah, definitely.
It's just not you anymore. You're looking at it and thinking, who's that crazy woman in that memory?
I feel like I just want to jump in the car and drive off, yeah.
Well, knowing that, Ashley, and knowing that for Brian and for your mum, their biggest fear was you in the car because they were worried about your safety.
Yeah.
We've got something a little bit special set up with your mum and Brian, and we're going somewhere for a little drive. And you're doing the driving.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Fabulous, come on.
I was really worried about working with Ashley from a point of view of could we really help this girl, because the amount of rituals that she had and the belief, the strength of this belief that, you know, she ultimately believed she could control health and happiness of her loved ones.
Everything I was holding in, bad thoughts, everything like that's just gone. I just don't feel any of that anymore. I have no urge to do any of these bizarre things that I was doing on a daily basis.
The moment that we can laugh about them, the moment that we can have that humility to feel totally and utterly stupid, is the moment it doesn't control us anymore.
It clicked for me when they asked me to sacrifice the goat.
How about you do one ritual and you sacrifice our goat?
No. Stupid, it's wrong. Nothing good comes of anything I'm doing. No one has control of what happens. No ritual I do is going to change anything. So it just seems so crazy.
She let it go. It just went like that.
Next, Ashley's on track.
So Ashley, how are you feeling?
Oh, amazing.
To put her newfound freedom to the test,
Oh, I'm a bit nervous, to be honest with you.
I'm sure she'll be absolutely fine.
will she be able to race at high speed without her rituals?
If I can drive this racetrack now without touching the roof in the car, without touching every dial I can see, then I know I've conquered it.
25-year-old Ashley has lived with an overwhelming condition for more than a decade.
I would say the worst thing that she does is when she's driving, she'll let both hands off the wheel to move switches and things like that, and it's obviously dangerous.
Unable to drive without carrying out a series of compulsive actions.
If I pull this down, I've got to touch that with both hands 9 times. So I take my hand off the steering wheel, and then again, gear stick's just horrendous.
She's putting her own life in danger.
I just think, where is it going to stop?
With her treatment session over, the Speakmans have brought Ashley to a racetrack. Will she be able to prove she's changed by driving a car without obsessively touching the controls?
So Ashley, how are you feeling?
Oh, amazing.
Did you expect to be here?
No, definitely not.
No compulsions, no thoughts.
Nothing, absolutely not a thing.
Fabulous. Well, look
Look
who's
who's
here. We've brought Ashley back.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm
Oh,
good.
good.
Yeah, amazing.
How are you feeling?
Good, yeah.
Have you been worried about her?
Definitely,
Biting the contents of the...
No, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So you think it's gone? You think it's
Totally fine.
totally gone?
I'm a totally different person.
You look a different
No
person.
desire to
Can't
do
believe
anything.
it. I can't believe it.
Well, we've done loads of tests with her. She's fine. And we're really convinced that it's gone. But the biggest problem that Ashley had, as you know, was driving a car.
Yeah.
Which is why we asked you to meet us here today, because what we thought was, if Ashley drives a car, you can see if she's driving a car, she'll know it's totally gone, and so will you too.
So, Brian, are you ready to get in a car with Ashley? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm a bit nervous, to be honest with you.
I'm sure she'll be absolutely fine. Go and show them what you can do.
I'm a little bit nervous about how I'm going to react behind the wheel. Driving was the main issue for me and for everybody else, really, as I was putting their safety at risk all the time, as well as my own.
I'm a little bit nervous. Hopefully she won't get in the car and start touching things and biting things. Hopefully she'll just be able to get in and drive.
Safely.
Spending 10 years living with an uncontrollable disorder has not only wrecked Ashley's life, it's taken a toll on her whole family.
If I can drive this racetrack now without touching the roof in the car, without touching every dial I can see, then I know I've conquered it.
This is her chance to prove that she can leave her rituals and routines in the past.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully it's worked.
See Brian, he looks an absolute nervous wreck.
How do you feel? Do you feel different?
I feel like I should be doing something.
Yeah, driving properly.
I've got no urge to turn the dials?
Nothing at all. Absolutely nothing. By now I would be touching both hands, I'd be touching the roof, I'd be touching all these buttons here, I'd be...
You've got no urge to do that?
No, I've...
Nothing's telling you you need to touch anything?
Absolutely nothing at all.
I may just see your hand on your leg, actually.
That's it.
Even though it should be on the wheel.
Normally both my hands would be all over the gear stick. Oh, all over the roof.
So you think it's definitely worked?
Yeah, this is proof, isn't it?
I can't believe she's just changed so much. She's just a different person. She looks happier, 100%.
Can't believe I'm changing gear with just one hand. It's absolutely amazing. Can't believe it. I feel like I should be doing something. I feel like I'm driving wrong because my hands are normally everywhere.
Well, I feel a bit safer. The roads are safer up County Durham now.
You will not safe. I'm just pleased that you're going to be safer. Because I live so far away. I just want to know that you're safe on the roads.
Well, there they are watching your Ash. There they are.
Amazing.
Yeah, and everybody looked quite safe.
I couldn't see Brian's face, so I was
No, I
hoping to see
couldn't,
him.
but she was driving a straight line. Both hands were on the wheel. Everybody looked fairly calm from what I could see.
I can't believe the difference. You seem so much happier.
It seems so crazy what I used to do.
I'm pleased the Speakmans have sorted you out. I really am. This is proof just by just watching you driving. It was quite scary. You wouldn't have seen that, but you wouldn't have seen any of your passengers being scared of your...
Did you not scare yourself?
Yeah, but I felt like I was in control, but I knew I wasn't.
I'm just so pleased that the treatment's worked and drive safe, not just for her, for everyone else that's around her. I'm just pleased that's just something that you put behind you. Now you can concentrate on your life now. You can have your life.
Well, that was amazing. I can't believe the difference. Both hands were on the steering wheel or the gear stick. There was no touching of dials, nothing. I can't believe the difference.
So, how was it?
Oh my God, amazing. I cannot believe it.
Brian, verdict, how did you drive?
Totally different. Much
Really?
better, much better.
It's amazing the job that they've done in such a short space of time to get rid of something that she's had for 18 years.
Fantastic. So would you say she's a safe driver now?
Yeah, maybe I can have a rest from driving.
Well, do you know what? I'm glad you said that. Seeing as you're a safe driver and we're here, we might as well make the most of it. Thought we'd have a bit of fun. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I think so. I'm ready. I feel like a totally different person. Normally when I get out the car, I'm constantly checking things, checking the handbrake 9 times. But this time I was just able to stop the engine, get out and walk away, and it felt amazing.
Now that Ashley's proved she can leave her obsessive behaviour in the past, her reward is to race Nick and Eva. After just one day with the Speakmans, Ashley can start to get her life back on track and look forward to the future.
Oh, Ashley better win. She's not getting back in my house if she don't win.
Down to the brake first, over to the right. Now, as you go over to the right, you're going to go over to the right-hand side and brake to the right-hand side. Turn into the apex point. Now starting to turn away through. Keep that angle and drive through. Go onto the brakes, down 2 gears for me, so down 2. Try and keep those hands glued equally on the wheel, that's it. So aim at the cone and feed the power through. Got a bit more power, arc the corner, to the turn cone. Drop the power, turn right. Now back on the power.
I've overcome so much in so little time, and I just think I've got loads ahead of me now.
I feel much better knowing that Ashley's safe. She can go out now without feeling embarrassed. She can go out without putting her life in danger, without putting other people's lives in danger.
If it wasn't for the Speakmans, I'd be still doing all my daily rituals. I'm just so grateful I've got the help that I've got at the time I needed it, because my future would have been put on hold, and now I've got so much ahead of me, and I just can't thank them enough.
Ashley was last.
That was amazing. Oh, it's unbelievable. That was one of the best things I've ever done.
I'm dead proud
Thank
of you.
you.
Fab.
Thank you very much.